Greetings, Payment Loans. Here, your coach, your host, your friend of the Lizwat podcast. Today, I have another great guest, my new good friend, Kirtideva Peruman from beautiful Mauritius Island. Another French speaker. Was awesome talking to him last week, and we was great chatting in French. We're connected by our good common friend, Wendy Corner. Wendy was here last week and here in Vietnam. And she said, I have a few amazing people to connect to you. I said, yes, please do so. And one of them is been you. I had a beautiful conversation with you. And then you also invited your co-host of your podcast, Tina. And lovely chat. A little bit about you. You're currently based in beautiful New Zealand. And your background is in engineering, but then you realize it's not really for you. And then you switch to psychology, and now that's more up your alley, so to speak. Helping, inspiring, doing good, and being a cheerleader for people. Something we're very aligned as well. And yeah, I'm very excited to get your story. And you also have a podcast, host of a podcast called The Divine Mess with your co-host Tina Ryan. You've been doing it for about a year. You've had 52 episodes recorded. You just had your 1 year anniversary recently, so congratulations for that. To your next 1,000 years to go. And yeah, I'm in the process of you switching from engineering to psychology. You've had your own spiritual awakening on your spiritual path, and now you're sharing those gifts with others. So very excited to have you. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure. Last time we had a blast, being chat with you. It was very flowing, and like I said, last time as I told you, so like for the first 15 minutes we were speaking French, and that was so good. Like after so many years, it felt like
Yes,
speaking to someone. So I was practicing my French then. So thank you for that.
pleasure's all mine. Me too. I don't have much opportunities here speaking in French, so anytime I get a chance, I'm loving it, because French is a beautiful
Yeah.
language. And awesome. So tell us, we're going to talk about your business, your impact, and all the amazing work you're doing around you and around the world in a moment. But first, tell us, for people who don't know you, who is Kirtideva as a person, as a human being, and as a man, in a nutshell?
Right. I will try to summarize it, but thank you for this really powerful question to start with. So for starters, people who know me, like back in Mauritius, they knew me as Ruben. That was the name I had back then before I changed it to Kirtideva. So Ruben was a really scared little boy who was not going for his dream, just listening to others and people pleasing at the highest level and always being service to others, yes, but in a really a detrimental of his own health or mental health as well, and always giving to others. And then he traveled to New Zealand, and he embraced the name that was given like to him 10 years ago, but he chosen to embrace it 6 years ago, Kirtideva, which means in Sanskrit, God of light, and it's really being in service to others and awakening that light within them. So Kirtideva is someone who is like really embracing his dream, being a chillpreneur. He recently learned uh, from listening to a book called Chill and Prosper, which is a great audiobook to listen to. And it's about really, for Kirtideva is really about being present with the other person, a great listener, yes, but setting clear boundaries with people when it's not the right time to listen or doesn't have the energy. It's all about the self-care, focusing on himself more, which is a learning curve, a learning process. It's up and down as always, going with the flow with the universe, collaborating with the universe, and really being impactful in terms of the serving to others, awakening that light within them, helping them to find that true hero within themselves. With the founder of the Heroes Mystik now, I'm collaborating with another person from Mauritius, where we created the Golden Temple. So it's really about awakening your self-love within yourself in a place where you feel safe, protected, and it's in a balanced energy. So it's about taking you on that hero's journey when you receive that call, just like I did throughout my years through different spiritual awakening as well. And in a nutshell, so that's what I can say for now. Obviously, there are many tangents I can go on, but I will leave that to you, Payman.
Absolutely. We'll unpack that
Yeah.
in a moment. That's awesome. Thank you. Um, what I'd like to start off with is asking a series of rapid fire questions before to get to know you
Okay.
as a person. Ready?
Yeah. Yep. Go for it.
All right, cool. What makes you happy?
Being in nature, swimming, and having time with my dog.
Beautiful. What kind of dog do you have?
I have a Jack Russell, but he's in Mauritius. His name is Lucky.
I'm pretty sure you must miss
Yeah.
him because I can only feel we have a dog too in Canada and I miss him tremendously as well.
Oh yes, yeah. Like every single day, I get the pictures. He's the king of the house now, so that tells a lot.
He's
He's
keeping,
not trained anymore.
he's taking good care of the house. I'm sure of that.
Yes, he is. He
Awesome.
is.
What makes you smile?
Connecting with like-minded people, um, reading self-help book, obviously, and meditating, being connecting with the universe on a constant basis, and eating lasagna as
Oh,
well. That and pizza.
but cooking it.
Yeah, I love cooking. Cooking is one of my therapies, I would say. That's my go-to. I love cooking. Since I'm vegetarian, like lacto-vegetarian,
Mhm.
so I will have like eggplant or mushroom lasagna. It's very different from what people will have, but I just love it. Yeah.
What's the main dish in Mauritius?
Oh, we have our main dish will be related. There will be rice, and then there will be some beans. Like I'm speaking from a vegetarian perspective.
Okay.
uh, and you will have a lot of like greens as well, and it's very carbs. There's a lot of carbs in what we eat. We love that, but if you're speaking from a non-vegetarian perspective, there will be the chicken or the fish, so it depends where you go for. But we do have some Indian cuisine as well that come into play, and since it's a multicultural country, so we celebrate every culture, but I'm
Absolutely.
just telling you my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What makes you come alive? What sets your heart on fire and your soul sing?
Being in connection with the universe, feeling that connection, but mostly serving others. When I see that sparkle going through, like in their eyes, and they are lighting up, and they have this ah aha moment. They're saying, "Yeah, I got it now," so I can shift, and that's really for me. That goes beyond happiness, goes beyond that sense of happiness, and it's always being in service for others, but seeing that light in their eyes, it's just beautiful. For me, it's like just beautiful to see that, to witness that change. Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, what makes you sad and angry?
When people are not listening to themselves like I
Mhm.
used to, and not taking care of themselves, obviously, like some of the wars that's happening, seeing people in pain, that make me sad as well. Uh, Not being present with my dog, not having him by my side in New Zealand make me sad. Angry, I would say like that was back in my teenage years when I was not being heard. That would go my Hulk version. That's how I call it, being the Hulk version of my,
The
yeah.
what version?
The Hulk. Like in the Avengers, there's Hulk,
Oh,
Hulk.
Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
Okay.
he become like, yeah, he become like green with anger. So for me, it's like, yeah, just that anger.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah,
see. What scares you?
scares me. Not, I would say like not achieving. the vision that we have set up for the Golden Temple, like raising awareness, human consciousness. That's scary. Like when I'm transiting, like in transition to the other world. If I have not achieved that, that would be scary. Yeah.
That makes sense. What would you say is your number one personal superpower?
Um, Listening, I would say, being in tune with others, listening to others. It has been a natural flow for me. It's something natural that come naturally because even in Mauritius, people will stop like as strangers. They will tell me their life story. So I feel I take this now. Yeah, like they will just stop randomly. I don't know them at all, and they will just tell me their life story. And so I feel it's a natural, a superpower for me, like for people to share their deepest secret or, you know.
I can imagine. Wow. Now, you love traveling, do you?
Yeah, I do. I do.
All right, we can do an entire episode on traveling, and we may do that another time. But I'd like to take you down a different type of traveling, down memory line. Go back to when you were growing
Okay.
up as a young boy. You know, when we're kids, people around us, family, relatives, neighbors, teachers, friends, always ask us, "Hey, so back then you were referred as what, as Ruben or as Kirtideva?"
Ruben,
Oh, sorry.
as Ruben back then.
Hey, Ruben,
Yeah.
what do you want to become when you grow up? What was your answer to that question as a young boy?
The first answer that came out was engineer,
Wow.
but I never aligned with it. Yeah. But that's deep within, I didn't know what I would become because I never thought I would become like a podcaster, like a spiritual life coach. I would never thought of all of that. Uh, but the first answer that came was engineer because it was the easy
Mhm.
getaway answer
I see.
that I would say back then. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your relationship growing up with school? Did you love school or did you hate school?
Primary, I was good at school, good grades, but I was having fun a lot. I was always on the football field playing. I never stayed in class. Secondary was the same, but the grades were really bad. So, but I loved going to school because I would be on the playing field, like playing football.
Yeah.
Um, but I was bullied a lot in secondary, so that was a tough time for me. I was being bullied for my skin color, for
And
I'm
Mauritius?
yes, in Mauritius. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have this cultural racism as well going on because people think like racism is all about like just like being black and white, if I can say that. Or
Sure.
but it's not about that as well. In Mauritius, we had like the cultural racism in terms because my religion is Tamil, so it's from South India. So you have different parts of India as well. So within the Hindu community, there's already um, like I come from a higher house than you. There's already the caste system. So even that, we had clashes of that. You can hear like comments about your skin color because South Indian, like Tamil, are very dark skin.
Mm,
Like one of the Sadhguru, like he's a famous Indian
yes.
spiritual teacher. He says like we are baked, so we are slightly baked. That's how he put like South Indian, and so we were like I was teased a lot for my skin color. Like
Mm.
if I'm playing on the like on the road, like they will say, "Oh, you have to smile to see you," all of that. So to see you
Seriously?
like these, yeah, these kind
Wow.
of comments. Yeah,
That's
yeah. So I
crazy.
grew.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did enjoy secondary because I played a lot of football, and
Mm,
that's where I really had fun. But my grades were not great
mm.
according to the educational system, so I nearly failed. Like I put in my book as I failed my way through secondary school. Yeah, every step. I
Wow. What
still don't
was,
know how I passed.
yeah. What was your favorite
Yeah.
subject and your least favorite subject in school?
Uh, my dad won't like that, but he was a physics educator.
Mm.
So the favorite one would be biology. I love
Mm-hmm.
biology. Back then, I was really curious about it. The least would be math. I would
Mm.
say, like doing. I was not connected at all. I was finding it so complex. Um, if sport was a subject, I would go for that. That will be my number one. Football would be my number one. Definitely going for that. Um,
Yeah.
and that's why I say like I got that dark skin. It's because I
Mhm.
played so much in the sun, like all day long.
Yeah. So you mentioned
Yeah.
football, and football is also a big passion, if not my religion speaking. And what position
Mm.
did you play?
Um, so I started as defender, as right and left back,
Okay.
but I evolved to a striker. But now my favorite of all time is being central midfield,
Mm,
really distributor. So I really love to see the whole field from the
mm.
vision perspective. So I evolved over the years, but I would say like from secondary, like the last 4 years, I played as central midfielder. I was a winger as well, but I love the. I played for my uni as well as central midfielder, so that was my position favorite one. Yeah,
Central
till date.
midfielding is
Yeah,
one of the most difficult position because you have to be
yeah,
like crazy. You have to be fast, strong, technical. You have to have the whole package, you know?
yeah, yeah. But I always admire like Zidane or
Oh,
Scholes. Paul Scholes was
oh
one of
yes,
my idols.
sure.
Uh, I love David Beckham, how he crosses the ball.
Yes.
But Zidane and Paul Scholes was my number one, and
His
that's
work
how
rate
I
wasn't,
used to copy
yeah, yeah. He was like crazy. What was your team?
Man United.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Unfortunately for now. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, me growing up, my team has always been AC Milan. Favorite player was
Ooh.
Marco van Basten was the guy that made me fall in love with football and made me a Milanista. And of
Yeah, yeah,
course,
yeah.
Paolo Maldini. Over the years as a Milanista, I was very spoiled because the team was doing really well, except the last few years. But now
Yes.
hopefully they're coming
Yeah.
back. Zidane, of course,
Yeah.
was the El Maestro, the master. You know, Zidane, the
Mm,
touch of the ball
yeah.
is like
Yeah.
a poetry in motion. For a big guy like him, you think it would be just about physics, but him is all about gracious technique. He's gliding with the ball. It's almost like a ballerina.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah. He's
strong. You
like
can't get the
dancing
ball
with
from him, you know?
no, he's like dancing with the ball. Like
That's
you
it.
can't get at all.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
he runs, he can runs as well in his
Oh,
prime days. Like, yeah, he was really quick. Like the
was it
very
Sir,
technical.
Sir Alex Ferguson that said, "Give me Zidane and 10 piece of wood and I'll win the Champions League"? Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. He was the one who said that.
Yeah.
Because when he came playing against Man United
With
in
Juventus,
the
yes.
quarterfinals. Yeah, and they thrashed United were really badly. And
He-
I was watching a podcast. Gary Neville was saying that like those times you couldn't play. You were like you couldn't play at all. It
Oh,
was like you
a
were so
machine.
scared.
Like a machine, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. So many things. Football is also a big part of my life. And yeah, football is beautiful. That's why it's called the beautiful game.
Mm,
And awesome, awesome, cool. Now, let's get back to you growing up in school. Imagine we're in the same class, say in grade 10 or 11. What kind of student were you? Were you like the shy type, the quiet type, the nerdy, the life of the party, the clown, the superstar?
I would I would be the clown. I would say like really funny. And nerdy definitely not. I don't think so. Even I know I could be in that type as well.
Mm,
Um, I love reading though back then
yeah.
through Harry Potter. That's how I learned. That's how I fell in love with reading was through Harry Potter. But I always was the funny guy in school, like trying to, like making everyone laugh. There was some introvert as because I'm introvert. ambivert, like really inclined to introvert. So there was that shy part as well that came out at times, but it was
Mm,
very rare back then.
mm,
I know like in primary school, I was really outgoing, and really clown type, um, superstar in football, I would say back then.
yeah.
Then you come to secondary school, it's another field. But I used to play with the, like those who were elder than me, who were older than me, and that's how I learned to be more confident. Like on the playing field, that's how where I really built my resilience and character over there.
Mm-hmm.
And on the field, I was different. On the field, I love being the observer and really being the visionary in terms of that. But in the class, I would be like really the clown one. Yeah. So in the class,
Oh,
it's a different story.
yeah. One
Yeah.
more question about football. Were you a right footer or left footer or both?
Both. I
Oh, that's
trained myself to
good.
Yeah, I trained myself to play with both because I watched Zidane playing with left and Scholes was a right footer. So
It
I
was
said,
complete. Yeah.
let's try both.
You know, the other
Yeah.
day I was walking around here and I saw a hotel. I will send you a picture. It's called Cantona Hotel. Cantona Hotel. I was like, seriously,
Oh,
I
wow.
wanted to what? I took a picture of it. I'll send it to you after. Next time I go there, I will
Sure, man.
see if I can talk to the owner, say, why Cantona? Are you a Man U fan? If yes, hey, do you have a room for me here? I
Yeah,
would love to stay there, you know? And take a picture and
beautiful.
tag Eric the King, say, hey, buddy, you have a
Yes.
place for you, you know?
Incredible. Incredible,
Yeah.
like how football can connect you with
Oh,
people,
yes.
like if you're really passionate about it. Yeah.
Football is the one thing that can literally, and has done it in the past, stop wars. I remember back in the 70s, I
Mm.
wasn't born, but Pele was, God bless his soul, the king. He was sharing that there was a civil war in Zaire back then in the 70s. The
Yeah.
people were fighting each other, and then when Pele went to play a friendly game, it was unreal. You were seeing people from both sides literally sitting side by side, hugging each other, watching the game in peace. And then after the game, they would get back to the guns and killing each other. See,
This
that's
is
power of football.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's why people say, I remember the comments because I went to like a mixed school.
Mm,
So the girls were always asking us, like some girls played football as well.
hmm
But some of them was like, what would you run? Like 22 guys would run after a ball like for 90 minutes, like what's the purpose of it?
Give them a
And
ball.
those
My
are the
mother was
type
saying
of,
that. Give each other a ball and just play. Don't be cheap. There's enough for everybody. So no, that's not the point.
that's not the fun, right?
Wow, cool. Speaking of girls, were you popular
Mm.
with the girls in high school and university?
In uni, I would say yeah. In
Oh.
secondary as well, I think like because the listening came into good hands, I would say. Like that was interesting, but I was like they came to me like naturally, like they will talk about their whatever they are going through. Popular as that, I would say, like as the listener, if I have an issue, like I will go to you, like I will go and speak to you and you will offer the space.
Mm.
If you're thinking popular like in the US movies, like the quarterback or something like that, that's not my type. But no, I would say like the person that they will go to if they have an issue, and I won't offer a solution, yet they will find it like
Mm.
just by talking to me, and they will find it. So some of the guys didn't like me, especially the boyfriends. They never liked me. So they
So
didn't
he has a
like
threat, you know?
when the girlfriend was speaking to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that was my story. Like even in primary and up to tertiary, that was the same.
Mm.
Yeah, so I was always seen as that threat. I remember like in psychology class, we were only three guys and 15 or 16 girl in that class in
Ah,
our um, tertiary. So two of the guys, sometimes they didn't like me at all. And I'm not asking for it, like I'm not going for the attention or something. It's just something that happened.
So how much of you
Yeah.
being good in football and being maybe a star of your team had to do with the girls liking you?
I would say practically, it didn't relate as such, but it does have an effect. Like when
Mm,
you're scoring goals, or like you see yourself at that star. Like when you're playing for against other classes, we had like inter-class competition as well, um, and that makes you popular among people. Among your grade, whatever grade you were in. Um, but I think like back then in secondary, that's your mentality. Like you think if you're a star, like people will like you more. But the tertiary didn't I didn't care. Like I didn't care about that at all. I
yeah.
was just focusing on my football and my studies. So I was not, and people were, it was like naturally gravitated to me. I think when you enjoy what you're doing,
Mm,
people naturally gravitate to you.
absolutely. Yeah, you have this
Mm.
magnetic charisma that people are drawn to you.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
What would you say was your first job? And do you remember how much you get paid the first time you worked?
Yeah. I was a My first one was I started as a intern for psychology, and
Mm,
I gave my money to my mom. My first pay, because
that's so
that's a
sweet.
tradition for my culture,
Mm-hmm.
is I always gave my mom, and my mom always say, "Oh, that's not much. So I will wait when you're,
Thank you,
like you
Mom.
go to."
Thank you for
I was
encouraging
like,
me and
yeah,
believing in me.
that that's a boost of confidence at when you hear that.
Yeah, yeah.
But she said it like in a loving way, like mom
Of course,
do.
of course.
But yeah, but it's still, I was like, yeah, thank you for that boost of confidence. And yeah, so for me, it will be like, I think it was 800 rupees, like Mauritian rupees back then. And
How much is that in
it was
dollars,
not,
for example?
I think 20 or 25, something, yeah,
This is for
or
what? For
less,
one day,
maybe.
for 1 week, 2 weeks?
That would be like for 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, for every two
Wow.
weeks. Yeah, that was really less. Yeah, and but back then you just accepted, like I accepted what I was getting, and because I was brought in a culture. I know, like in New Zealand, for example, they go to work like 14 or 15. Back in Mauritius, it was not the same. Like you're not expected as such to do that. So to leave the parent nest, like they call it. So it's much later. But
Mm,
for me, when I was doing my internship, that's what I was getting back then. Yeah,
mhm. And in Mauritius, you guys speak French, Creole,
yeah,
and
Mauritian Creole.
and local dialects, I guess.
The Mauritian Creole is mixed with local dialects, but we are taught
Okay.
in English. Our
Oh,
education
really?
system is in English.
Not in
Yeah,
French.
like except
Wow.
no, except the French class. So
Really?
our official language, the number one is English. So we are taught in English.
I thought it would be
I know
French.
people are surprised.
Yeah, French is
Yeah,
part of the
yeah,
tum-tum, you know?
yeah.
Wow,
But
okay.
yet most people will be more comfortable speaking French because it's closer to Mauritian Creole. And but our education system is in English fully. Now they have introduced Mauritian Creole as a subject, and it's becoming, they have their own dictionary as well, the
Mm,
definition of each word, and how it's written, because we have, like the text message, how you write,
mm,
like when you text your friend, but now they are making it like an official language, and which is great for us,
wow.
like to see like Mauritian Creole. And you do have Mauritian Creole teachers as well, that's all coming up.
And do you also
And
speak?
we have,
Go ahead,
yeah,
sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I do know, I do understand Hindi in the
Mm,
background. Like I can't speak it. I learned Tamil as well,
mm,
so that was part of my primary school. But I did forget it as well. I did learn it in secondary school as well.
mm.
But we have so many languages that you can speak
Sure.
in Mauritius. Yeah, yeah.
So if when I go to Mauritius, for example, what would be best for me to speak to the locals, in English or in French?
French, definitely
French.
French. Yeah,
Okay.
they will. Yeah, French will be the. You will understand if I don't know if they are swearing at you. I don't think you will, but you can get the gist out of it because that's what the fun. That's that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing. Like for me, in any language that I learned the swear words first. That's it. Trust me,
always.
because I want to. All every person who learned different language will tell you that. Like so you can understand.
And when it comes to swearing, French language can be incredibly creative, you know?
Yeah,
There is a
yeah.
scene from a
They
movie that there is I forgot the name of the movie. There's a villain, is a French guy. He spends literally a minute 31 just cursing the person in all kinds of different way in French. That became like a cult scene. If I can find, I'll say it to you. A minute 31 just cursing the guy in all kind of different expression in French. I was like floored. I couldn't believe it.
That's so powerful. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all because Mauritian as well, we got so creative. I think we got it from our French background or something. We get
Yeah.
so creative with it, like inventive as well. And with the social media, the GIF, like that they send you, they will put a song to it. They will create a song out of it and make it like popular. Like I think there was one track that became popular because it was like about swearing as well.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. Awesome.